Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Inyoma. I go by The Simple Pharmacist here on YouTube, and I also have a website called thesimplepharmacist.com, and that's pharmacist spelled with an F, not a PH. Let's get right into today's video. This video is going to be about investing, and I really hope that if you are younger than 30 years old, you watch this video and learn from some of my mistakes. So recently in an interview with Fox Business, I believe, Charles Schwab, who owns the investment firm and the bank, said that a lot of schools don't teach about investing, and by the time people actually find out about investing and making compound interest work for them, it's about age 30, and by that time it's far too late. Which is really sad because this year I turned 30, and this is also the year that I legit learned about investing, because I basically knew nothing. I didn't know how to make compound interest work for me, and I didn't know even how to properly invest my income. He's right about schools not teaching this, because I learned absolutely nothing about financial literacy from school. Absolutely nothing. I can't remember a single class, nothing. It's just not in the curriculum, and a lot of people can identify with this, which is just really sad, because I don't understand why this is the one thing that I can say everybody uses. I have not used calculus since I don't know when. It has not come up in my day-to-day life. You know what does come up? Money. Every single day. So why wouldn't you teach this in school? I don't know. Maybe they do want to keep us all poor. So I didn't learn it at school. And then fast forward to home life. Oh man, yeah, home life. We were always in one kind of poverty constraint or another. We moved from Nigeria when I was about 11 years old to the United States, and pretty much went from one kind of poverty to another kind of poverty, because we were broke in Nigeria and we were broke in the United States. And my poor parents honestly just didn't understand the American system of saving, investing, financial literacy as far as the American system, and credit. That was a big thing. And I can't blame them, because you don't know what you don't know. And because they didn't know, and a lot of their friends and our friends also didn't know anything about it, it wasn't talked about. We just didn't know. All we heard about was just go to school, get a job, and make money. And it's not enough. It's just not a good plan for people to have, because you can go to school, you can get a job, you can make money, and you can waste all that money by not properly saving and investing. So I went to school, paid off my debts. Thank you, Lord Jesus. But now I'm like, it's time to become financially free and financially independent. And these are things that I didn't know anything about literally until this year, when I discovered the FIRE movement on YouTube. So discovering the FIRE movement has completely changed my plans for my future, because before I kind of just wanted to stick my money in a 401k, which again, I learned about more recently, and maybe just retire when I'm 65 or 70 with that money that I had put away. However, there is an alternate path, which thanks to YouTube, I now know. So a lot of people are told to save about 15 to 20% of their income, save/invest for the future in a 401k or a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA. But people that are in the FIRE movement, which, if I haven't said already, stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early, they save upwards of 50 to 70% of their income, if not more, consistently. And they don't just save this in a high yield savings account, which is great, but you won't be able to retire early if you're putting your money in an interest account, in a savings account, earning only about 2% interest, if that. You need to invest. A lot of people heavily invest in the stock market using low cost index funds, or they invest in real estate, or better yet, they do both. And that's how they're able to retire early. I recently learned about index funds and ETFs and decided to put my money in those funds, and hopefully they will grow. And the stock market has returned, I think, consistently about a 7% interest on the funds that people put in there. So it's considerably higher than a high yield savings account, which will give you about a 2% interest, which is a really good interest rate for a savings account, which is with an online bank, because your traditional Bank of America, Wells Fargo, are going to give you about a 0.1% interest rate, which is ridiculous. So if you have not already, step one, if you're going to save money, saving, just straight saving, not investing, go ahead and open an online bank and put your money in that savings account. And there's several online banks you can research. I love Ally. I've used them for years, and it's just money that goes in there. I don't really think about it. It's not my investment income. It's just money that I'm saving, maybe for an emergency or maybe just for later. It's just good money to save. And they have an interest rate that is between 1.8 and 2%, depending on what the Fed decides to do with interest rates. So that's saving, and I wish I had known about this a lot sooner, because I parked my money in Bank of America first and then Wells Fargo, and it earned not a dime. Honestly, not even a dime, because their interest rates are that ridiculous. Okay, now about investing. I can speak from experience about the three options I've used. Let's start with the one I've had for the longest. Betterment. Betterment is robo-investing, and they essentially you tell them what kind of structure you want your money to be invested in, whether it's like socially responsible companies or traditional companies, and you can allocate if you want it to be in 95% stocks and 5% bonds, or a different kind of allocation, and they will put your money in kind of the best performing ETFs for the most part and let that money grow for you. It's a good option. It's a great option. I opened Betterment years ago just because my sister had an account, and she said she just uses it to put some money in there every month, and said it was a good idea to let the money grow. I was like, oh sure, that sounds great. But I honestly still didn't fully understand what investing and compound interest was. However, I did put my money in there. Not much, literally not much, but I think it was $2,700 I put in total, and so far it has earned almost $800, which is really good, and that is $800 minus the fees they charge. So Betterment is great for robo investing. I think if you want to put your money in there on a routine basis, you can do monthly automatic transfers and just let your money grow without you having to personally choose the stocks and the bonds that your money is going into. It is a great option. They do charge fees though, and their basic fee is 0.25%, which doesn't sound like much until you compare it to Vanguard. Vanguard is like the granddaddy of all index fund investing, because they pioneered low cost index funds. And you can put your money in Vanguard. You can choose the index fund or the ETF, or both, that you want to invest in. You can also open an IRA with them. You can with Betterment as well, but you can just open up a brokerage account and an IRA with Vanguard, and their fees start at like 0.04%. So you compare 0.25% with Betterment and 0.04% with Vanguard. The difference is clear. So Vanguard is a great option. It's actually the investment company that a lot of people in the FIRE movement use to invest their income. And I think the two most popular funds with Vanguard for investing is VTSAX, which is the low-cost index fund, which tracks the total stock market and has thousands of stocks in there for you to choose from. And it only costs about 0.04%. The catch is you do need to start out with an investment of $3,000 or more. So there's that option. And then they have VTI, which is the Vanguard ETF, which is just like VTSAX. The difference is it's an ETF, not a mutual fund. So you need a lot less money to start out with it. So you pretty much will just buy the ETF for the cost of the ETF. Whatever amount it is trading for that day, that is the amount that you will put in for that ETF. In a situation where you don't necessarily have $3,000 to stick into VTSAX, is you can just go ahead and buy that ETF, VTI, and you're pretty much doing the same thing that VTSAX is doing, just paying a lot less money for it. They are both wonderful options, and their fees are ridiculously low, which I'm very grateful for. So I highly recommend Vanguard. The difference between Vanguard and Betterment is Vanguard is not robo investing. So you do have to go in there and choose and say, I want to invest in VTSAX. I want to invest in VTI. I think it's great because it actually, if you do your research, you can actually choose which fund you want to invest in, and actually you know where your money is going every month. You're not just like, oh, my money's growing. I don't know what funds it's invested in, but it's growing. You actually know because you're choosing where you want your money to go. You can also do automatic transfers just like Betterment. So those are two good options. And then the third option, which I just recently started using because YouTube told me about it, is M1 Finance. And M1 Finance is kind of like robo-investing, but they don't charge you any fees for trading on their platform, which is marvelous. You can invest in Vanguard ETFs on M1 Finance as well. And they do this thing where they like create a little pie chart and you get to choose like, okay, I want 30% in VTI, I want 30% in VOO, I want 50% in VPU. These are all Vanguard ETFs. And your money can go in there and you can just do automatic transfers and let your money grow. And they trade once a day, so you'll go in and see how your money is doing for that day. And then you move on. All great options, all great options. I personally just think that I'm going to use more Vanguard and more M1 Finance going forward, just because the fees with Betterment, even though 0.25% doesn't sound like a lot, when you multiply that by something like $400,000, it kind of begins to add up. Whereas you can do the same thing on M1 Finance and Vanguard for a lot less fees. And in the case of M1 Finance, no fees at all. So those are three options to look into. If you are 30 years and over and you're feeling like I'm feeling, where it's just like I wasted all of my 20s not knowing about this, not investing, it is true. There's no way around that. We've lost about 10 years of compound interest. However, you don't know what you don't know. And since we are not in Star Trek and we can't go back in time, now is the time to just put the knowledge that we have to good use. And God willing, if we live long enough, you still have time to make up for the income that was lost not investing in our 20s. But you have to do something now. You have to start putting that money away. You have to start investing. And what's the alternative? The alternative is just putting your money in a box under your bed or in your garage or in your backyard and just letting inflation eat away at your money. Whereas you can put it in a low-cost index fund or an ETF and let it actually grow and be put to good use. Those are my thoughts for people who are my age and over. If you are between the ages of 18 to 29, oh my goodness, please start now. Especially if you're in your early 20s, start now. Whatever amount of money that you can spare, whatever amount of living expenses you can cut off, things that you honestly, if you're being honest, don't need, then do it. Invest your money. There's so many options for you to invest. If you can do index funds and real estate, please do that. Set yourself up so that by the time you're my age at 30, you're more on the path towards financial freedom, if not already there. I know several people who are there already. If only I had done the things that they had done, I probably would be there. But now that I know what I know, I'm going to make an effort so that the generation that comes after me is in a better situation to put their money towards good use. So I hope this is helpful. I am going to do more videos in the future comparing how my money is doing with Betterment and M1 Finance and Vanguard, because I have different funds in those three different places. And I just think it'll be cool to compare, which fund is, which account is doing better in each. I'm also gonna do a follow-up video about some horrible money mistakes I made in my 20s. If you are hoping to avoid those, go ahead and watch that coming up. All right, thank you so much for watching. Check out my website, thesimplepharmacist.com, and please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.